Hey everybody, Lawrence from financialthing.com. Welcome back. Thursday evening live stream. If you hear thunder in the background, it is because there is thunder in the background, so apologies. But once I figure out how to change the weather, I will do that. Welcome to everybody. We're going to be talking about a lot today: peer-to-peer lending news, what's going on with the investments. Going to kind of run through a little bit of the Cufflink dashboard and see if there's any juicy loans on the platform at the moment. And so if you're not a Cufflink, if you are not in Cufflink, you'll be able to kind of look and see what's going on. And that is a sponsor of the show today. Cufflink, you can sign up and receive up to £4,000 of cash back on your first investments. That is for new investors. If you're already an investor, apologies, you cannot get in on that. But if you go to join.cufflink.com/financial-thing, you can get yourself some cash back. Great background lighting. Thank you very much, Paul Bagworth. I appreciate that. So yes, just a look quick aware. Remember, next week, Thursday, May 13th, we're going to have Blend Network CEO on live here, Jan Marciano. We're going to talk about peer-to-peer lending, what's going on in the property market, what's going on with Blend, their FC authorization. So set your alarm for next Thursday, 7:30 p.m. UK, 2:30 p.m. US Eastern Time. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe if you can, hit the bell. We're doing pretty good with the subscriptions, trying to get that back up to 1,000. So thank you for all the support. And we're really going to try to keep it under an hour. I've decided the live stream is way too long, and an hour is definitely, probably even too long. 30 minutes would be perfect. So we're going to run through. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the chat, and we'll do a little Q&A at the end. See what's going on. So yeah, next week, come listen to Jan Murciago, and let me should we maybe we'll just leave that up for now. No, you know what, we're going to turn that off. So there we go. So what's going on in the peer-to-peer lending news this week? Let's go ahead and do a little screen share action. And a couple of things. Interesting news story about Thin Cats says their outstanding loan book breaks through the £500,000 barrier. And now, if you've been watching, you'll know that the business network, which is Thin Cat's peer-to-peer arm of their business, actually went into administration, but still Thin Cats as a business does continue to operate outside of the peer-to-peer lending business. So apparently their loan book is 500 million with outstanding loans, which is $500 million squid. Pretty good. Pretty good. They seem to be doing well as they move towards institutional lending, and definitely have cut that peer-to-peer lending side of their business. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting to see that their peer-to-peer arm went into administration, yet their regular business continues to be okay. So hopefully they'll be able to take care of the peer-to-peer lending side without too much loss to investors. You know, I'm very skeptical about that because we've just seen so many capital losses within peer-to-peer. Let me go ahead and just say hi to everybody in the stream, as we always do. If you want to put where you're watching from tonight, or daytime, wherever you are in the world. Darren, you are first tonight. Chimpo Naughty's here from Cambridge with 4 seasons of weather going on. By the way, it's a balmy 90 degrees Fahrenheit here in Orlando today, so I don't know what that is in Celsius. Probably a lot. Paul Bagworth. Steve, sorry, didn't mean to miss you. Steve from Solihull near Birmingham. Paul Bagworth, Kenilworth. Mike Powell in Southampton. Alan is in Basingstoke. Colin from the Peak District, as always. Mark Mason says it looks tasty. I don't know what looks tasty, but maybe you have a chocolate muffin in front of you. Hi, Robert in Greece. And shake with lumps this week. No, this is, we got, this today is yogurt. Try to eat a little bit healthy. At my age, you got to do that. Stephen Green in Southport, those are blueberries, by the way. Berry from God. Debbie at Mixed Media Arts in the sunny Caymans. Currently 84, feels like 94. Very hot down there, muggy. Paul Ward, Portsmouth. Tony in Taunton in Somerset. We got Aki Chap as always in Accrington. Looks like we're on the ball today. I am not. Mark Mason, nice to see. Peter Vince in Leatherhead. Sunny but chilly. Sue in Newcastle upon Lyme. Paul New in sunny Wales. I didn't know Wales was sunny. That's kind of a newsflash to me. John Day from Nottingham up north. Met a bloke from Nottingham the other night here in Orlando. And John Morgan. Annabelle Nyron is here from warm and sunny España. ¿Cómo está? And an hour is okay. Good. I'm glad. Dave Dawson from Staffordshire. Nikki Ram Nareen from Sheffield. Arthur in sunny but cold Belfast. Stephen Hale in Nottingham too. And Richard McDougall in cold and southern Scotland. Scotland. Okay, cool. So let's talk about more news. Let's get through this quickly today. I'm sure you got more important things to do than be on here for 2 hours. Peer-to-peer platforms worry that new FCA proposals will push out retail investors. So these new proposals are going to be on the way that certain companies advertise their products. They obviously don't want retail investors to have the wool pulled over their eyes with promises that cannot be delivered. So they've put out a discussion paper that they're inviting feedback on July 1st. The regulator is seeking views on whether more types of investments should be subject to marketing restrictions and what improvements could be made. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that there has to be some kind of guidelines about how you can advertise certain investment products, because you don't want to have all these cowboy financial companies out there making promises of 15% returns with little asterisks at the bottom saying you're probably not going to get that. So whether the FCA is any good at doing any of this is questionable. We'll see. They certainly have failed in the past in some respects about protecting consumers, but they are on the right track. Lending Crowd's loan market remains closed. That's our Scottish friends up there doing SME lending, similar to Assets Capital, but they have not been lending money through new loans to peer-to-peer lending investors for a while. They suspended their platform to focus on CBILS lending through the government. That's the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme, which launched, I believe, in July of 2020. So they are just going to continue focusing on that. And I think this is probably a way for these businesses to be financially pumped up through these difficult times. If they were focused on purely peer-to-peer lending and didn't have CBILS lending, Lending Crowd would be in a very different financial position. So I can understand why they're focusing on that. They focus on where they can make money. So I don't know how long it's going to take for them to start lending again. Lending Crowd, I always had a good relationship with the CEO. I think his name is Stuart. Sorry if I got that wrong. But never really something that I wanted to put too much money into. I'm not particularly keen on SME lending in some respects. So there's that. See, peer-to-peer property has performed admirably as new growth is predicted. Obviously, I think that when this coronavirus thing really starts to ramp down, you're going to see a boom in the housing market in the UK. There obviously already was a housing shortage, so a lot of peer-to-peer lending companies that focus on property lending in a position to really take advantage of that. Your companies like Cufflink, Blend Network, Crowd Property, PropLend, all in property peer-to-peer lending, and I think they're going to see some really good growth. You also have Shojin that I haven't really looked too much into, but I've had a few inquiries, asking me to look at it. But I think peer-to-peer property will do well. As long as the company's offering those loans robust and can continue to operate profitably, that in the future, that's our biggest concern with peer-to-peer lending. But the growth is there, so if the companies can operate well, then yeah, you're going to see good growth in that type of lending. Peer-to-peer lending complaints are on the decline. That's a good thing. Zopa had 176 complaints in the last 6 months of 2020, 115 relating to banks and credit cards, and 61 to investments. Funding Circle had received 80 complaints. I'm surprised they have not received more complaints on the investment side, considering what's going on with Funding Circle. So they are on the decline, the peer-to-peer lending complaints. I mean, that's a positive thing for the industry as a whole. I like that. It's good to see some positive news. Hopefully that will continue. Let's see. Hi, Chica Boy is here. John Morgan says, a couple of my loans that appeared in some trouble with Cufflink have now been repaid, so I'm happy to add some more cash into the platform. I think, this is a great point, John. This is what we want to see. We want to see what happens when these loans run into trouble. How do the peer-to-peer lending companies actually handle those loans in recovery? And when we can get a repayment without having to go through default enforcement, which gets costly and very time consuming, I think this is a good thing. So again, this is a testament to Cufflink and their team and how they do handle default recovery, which is a massive part of any company that handles and that offers peer-to-peer lending loans. So I do like to see things like that happening. I think I have 1 or 2 defaulted loans in my Cufflink portfolio, but I have faith that Cufflink is going to handle those appropriately, which is a good thing. Let's see what else we got. The house crowd administration costs reached £283,000 in just 2 months after the company announced its closure. And that's according to the Joint Administrator's Statement of Proposals. We mentioned this last week. Anytime you get an administrator involved, they are just going to leech the fees straight out of the whatever's there in the pot. It's unfortunate. It sucks. We got in comparison right here. Lendy's administrator time costs passed £1.7 million within the first 6 months of its administration process. Here's my plea to the FCA. Put some kind of caps on these administrator fee schedules, because if they have an open checkbook to bill whatever they want, and for instance, Lendy has gone out of business, what does Lendy care if the administrator charges 1 million or 5 million pounds? I don't know what the laws are regarding that, but I prefer some kind of caps on these administrator costs, because it's getting ridiculous. I mean, we know that the Lendy fees are going to be way over 2.5 million pounds, and this is to the detriment of the investors that are losing their money. I mean, the administrators are making out like bandits. Of course, they're private companies and they're in business to get paid and make a profit, but they're supposed to represent the best interests, and they don't always do that, in my opinion. So I would like to see some regulation, some heavy regulation over these administrators. So house crowd administration costs reaching 283,000 in just 2 months. I mean, how these administration fees with the house crowd, they're going to be huge, because some of the developments they've got going on that are in trouble. It's going to be a monumental cost. Not really happy about that. I don't like to see things like that going on, but it is what it is. We are kind of at the mercy of those administrators. Hopefully you don't have too much money in any of these companies that have gone out of business, and make sure that you're diversified. Very, very important. Mark Mason, you're in a cold Epsom. Isn't it crazy that, what are we, May now, and the weather in the UK is just still crappy? It's really sad. I wanted to show you what's going on with the portfolio on the Trading 212. I just recorded a video last night. I'm going to put it up probably later today or tomorrow, but I'll give you a show you what's going on. The portfolio, which again, if you haven't seen this before, if you're watching in the future, this was started in September of 2020 to see if I could beat the index trackers, which so far it has done very, very well. The index tracker, I think, was for the same time frame up about 22%, and this one is over 100%. But a lot of luck involved. We're in this massive red hot bull market right now within stocks, so definitely results I wouldn't expect to see during normal markets. But the portfolio, we've definitely had some ups and downs with it. You can see right now the account value is at £11,040. We started at 5,500, so amazing result. But look at some of these investments right now that are in the red. We got Aurora Cannabis down 30%, Centrus Energy down 12.6%, Ceres Power Holdings down 7.45%. Kicking myself for not selling this. I had planned to sell. Had about $2,000 in this stock, and it was up a couple of percent. I just forgot to sell out one morning, and then the next morning it dumped. You could see here over the last week what happened. I think I was trying to sell out around up here on Tuesday or maybe on Wednesday, and then of course we get this dump. So I sold off half of those. We're about 7.45 in the hole. Laredo, another one. You know, again, if you're looking at buying individual stocks and shares, this is a great example of how this can go really wrong. Now, this Laredo was up 50%. Look at this. It was up 50% on Wednesday, and we had this big drop. Just Laredo didn't post really great results, which I still think Laredo is a good company, and I'm planning on holding these shares for now. But you can see we were up at $43, and we've taken a dump just in the last day down to $35.77. You know, this is one of the issues when you're picking out stocks in a portfolio. If you're not a long-term investor, you're very susceptible to emotional swings. Now, when I looked at this portfolio and saw this number here at up 50%, it brings me, I'm like, wow, yeah, great, this investment has done well. I thought it would. But when you wake up and then you look at this today right here, minus 17.64% in one day, it takes a lot to not want to dump these shares and take the profit, which wouldn't have been a bad idea. I mean, that's probably a mistake. When this investment was up 50%, that would be the time to take the profit. Didn't do that, and we get this big dump, minus 17% today, 17.6%, and the emotions are screaming, you know, is it the right thing to hold on to this investment? It's not a huge amount of money. Maybe to some people it isn't, and some people it might be, but you know, I had to really plug through those feelings. Like now you can just see we've gone down 18%, and I still am very bullish on oil. I think we're going to see a good oil market through the end of the year, but it takes a lot to hang on. Lloyd's Bank, you can see right here, has been really good. We're up 85% on Lloyd shares, and I never would have thought ever that I would want to own Lloyd shares. Here's another one. This was another bad move. Microvision Laser, they do LiDAR, which is technology, a very high risk company. Bought in at completely the wrong time. Plan on holding for a while anyways, but still, it's never a good idea to get the timing right. I think, where did I buy in it? I can't even remember. It was a lot higher than that. I think here you go. Average price $21.97 was my buying point. Now we're down to $13. Thankfully, didn't put a huge amount in, but you got that. And then Tullow Oil is a small UK oil and gas exploration company that I've added a little bit more to the position today. So it does represent about 30% of the portfolio. So we'll see how it does. Again, very heavy into the power and oil at the moment. Tech, not really. We exited out of the tech. Interesting to see if you look at Tesla, which we had a pretty big position on, is now all the way down to 655. You know, I don't know. I think Tesla's going to struggle. especially now we're at the top of what I believe we're in a very frothy market at the moment that possibly could correct at any time. Is it a good idea to be in Tesla stock at the moment? I don't know. I got out at about 700 US dollars, so still continues to just really chug along. So that's what's going on with the Trading 212 portfolio. We are always going to talk cryptocurrency today because there's some really important things to pay attention to, what's going on in the news. And look, this is an investment live stream, and I think it's important to pay attention to other types of investments out there. And you're not always going to win in one sector. We saw peer-to-peer, and some people have had bad experience, and some people have had good. It just depended on which companies you invested in. But I always pay attention to different investment vehicles because, look, at the end of the day, let's be real. We make investments to make money, right? Yes, you can do ethical, non-ethical, green. But at the end of the day, if you were putting in an investment to get zero return out, you wouldn't do it. No matter how much you liked it, maybe Kiva or something like that, where you're lending money to African people to open stores or whatnot, maybe you're getting 0% back, but most of the time you want to get a return on your investment. So I'm always looking for different opportunities and to be diversified, and cryptocurrency is one of those opportunities now that is a once, I think, in a generation opportunity. Of course, there's a lot of naysayers out there that believe it's, I've read so many places, Ponzi scheme, and doesn't have any value. It's just really nonsense. It's a lot of rhetoric that's false. So some big news pieces that we have to pay attention to what's going on. We've had a huge week in cryptocurrency. Don't get involved in FOMO, that fear of missing out, because crypto for me is a long-term thing. But you can see we've had this massive run up on Ethereum, right? Hit 29.2% in the last 7 days. Incredible run up in Ethereum. Lots of unknowns about Ethereum, but it seems to be doing very well. And then the big star of the show has been Dogecoin, this joke coin that was started as a big FU to the Wall Street financial industry to say, hey, we'll create our own coin payment system that can also be an investment for people. And now Dogecoin has a 72 billion US dollar market cap. So $72 billion have gone into this coin. It's gone all the way from zero, fractions of a penny up to 66 cents now. And I think it's going to reach $1 soon. So you got Elon Musk really pumping this coin up, and other places too that are now accepting Dogecoin as a payment. So who knows? I mean, we don't know what will happen with it. But there's reports that come out, analyst reports are saying it has strong fundamentals, obvious deficiencies. Yes, it could probably come crashing down at some point, but it is not a joke coin anymore with that much money invested in it. You got Mark Cuban accepts Dogecoin now as part of the Dallas Mavericks, which is a basketball team in America. You can buy tickets and merchandise with Dogecoin, and he plans on holding that Dogecoin. That's the most important thing. He's not going to be selling it. So he believes, Mark Cuban from the Shark Tank, which is the US version of the Dragon's Den, he believes in this stuff and he's going to hold it. He wants to accumulate as much as he can, get paid from it. So it's pretty interesting. This was very, very big news. We had the CEO of, hopefully you can see this. Let me move it over here. Visa. Visa CEO came out, Al Kelly, in his quarterly earnings call in April 27. I think this is a massive piece of news that they are really focused on Bitcoin. And right now we've seen this Bitcoin sort of stagnant at the moment. It's been a little bit up, a little bit down. But I've always said that we are in this very early adoption phase. And when retail investors come into Bitcoin, this is when you're going to see that price really start to go parabolic again. You're going to see that next cycle of that rise in Bitcoin, and Visa is going to really be behind this. The CEO, Al Kelly, described Bitcoin as digital gold, which we've always said it's not a cryptocurrency anymore. It's a store of asset value. So best described as digital gold. And Visa, his aim, this is the very important piece of news here. Kelly said his aim is to make it possible for Visa customers to buy Bitcoin directly and work with Bitcoin wallets to allow Bitcoin to be translated into a fiat currency like the pound or the dollar. It is time for real change where everybody is accepted on equal footing with no questions. Now, when you have a CEO of a massive company like Visa coming out and saying things like this is the pre-retail investment adoption. Once Visa is able to implement the offering of purchasing a Bitcoin directly, now you see this mass adoption. They want people to be able to spend cryptocurrency, so he's working on 70 million merchants being able to accept Bitcoin as a payment. We've got over 35 digital currency platforms and wallets that have chosen to work with us, including Coinbase, Crypto.com, BlockFi. Visa found that 25% of Latin Americans would like to experiment with cryptocurrency payments, plus 78% expect that new technology, including crypto, is likely on the way. Visa is creating APIs to allow customers of financial institutions to buy, store, or trade digital currencies held by Anchorage. That's huge. I mean, yeah, this news is huge. We got settlements saying that Kelly boasted Visa's infrastructure lets financial institutions settle transactions in the US dollar peg stablecoin USDC. And they're working with central bank partnerships for the creation of digital coins through there. So this is not going away. This is absolutely not going away. There was another news story which they are saying 750, here we go, hundreds of banks in the US to allow customers to buy, sell, hold Bitcoins through existing bank accounts. This was a news story that came out one day ago. This is massive. You're going to see later on in the year that banks will allow people to hold Bitcoin inside their accounts. And this, again, is where you're going to see that massive retail adoption, and then the price is going to explode. You know, I'm a personal believer that the price of this coin in the future will be 7 figures. See, customers of hundreds of banks in the US will soon be able to buy and hold and sell Bitcoin through their existing accounts. This is made possible thanks to a partnership between fintech giant Fidelity National Information Services and the New York Digital Investment Group, the Bitcoin investment arm of $10 billion New York-based Stone Ridge Asset Capital. The two firms said that the collaboration is to enable US banks to offer Bitcoin in the upcoming months. Yeah. So once that happens, again, you're going to see some major price increases. Some major investment banks have already began providing wealthy clients access to Bitcoin investments. Morgan Stanley announced in March it will begin offering Bitcoin funds to wealthy clients. And Goldman Sachs said that it will offer a full spectrum of Bitcoin investments. JP Morgan is also reportedly looking at its own project in conjunction with the NYDIG. So big news. And again, if you're looking, you know, obviously you've got this cryptocurrency space that to some people is going to look very weird. You've got probably, I don't know, 2,200 different coins. A lot of them won't survive. A lot of them are going to have problems. A lot of them will end up going bankrupt. But these coins that have been created by these businesses to create funding for what they're trying to do, they're legitimate businesses. I mean, these coins are not, and some of them are obviously a waste of time. A lot of them are going to be a waste of time. But you got things like Solana, you got things like VeChain, VeChain and Salesforce partnering together to use blockchain VeChain is a very cheap coin. You can get it for, I think, 20 cents or something like that. And these are legitimate businesses. You also got Solana. Look at this. You can do a average fee per transaction in the very, very small, very fast transactions that can handle 50 transactions a second, much faster than things like Ethereum. So these are actually real businesses that are creating use cases, and they're going to be profitable businesses, and you can invest through the coins as an investment. And which, we got companies like Uniswap, which if you have a coin that's on the Ethereum, it's an Ethereum based coin, and you want to swap it to a different coin, you can come to a trading platform like this, which is decentralized and has its own liquidity. So the liquidity is not provided, when you buy a stock, you're buying it from somebody that's selling it, and you're buying it. This has a liquidity pool. It is not based on demand and supply, so you can switch from different coins. And you can own the Uniswap token if you feel like that's something that would be a good investment. Now, I'll show you here. If you wanted to trade one Ethereum coin into, pick one. Let's see, what do I have here? Mana, for instance. There you go. You'd get an exchange of that, and then there is fees right here. You can see a minus 2.27% execution versus spot price and a 0.01 Ether liquidity provider fee. So Uniswap is making money off that transaction. That's how they make profit. And again, you can own this coin, this Uniswap coin. In fact, let's look at it and see how much something like that would cost you. Here you go. If you wanted to own a Uniswap coin, it will cost you $40.46. And that is a legitimate business. Right here, they are making off of the swap from an Ethereum coin to whatever coin you decide you wanted to pick. They're making a fee of 0.01 Ether on that trade. So it's like a trading platform, and this is a company that's going to make big profits off swapping coins on a decentralized cryptocurrency exchange. And so if you have the patience and time to do research about these companies, you can invest in these companies through, think of it like startups. They're pretty much like startup companies that are actually providing a service. It's not like Dogecoin that doesn't really have a lot of case use right now. But you can trade coins. Like, look at this one. This is called PancakeSwap. So if you own BNB, which is a Binance coin, through the Binance trading platform, which is the biggest one in the world. So if you want to trade your one BNB, you can switch it to any of these coins that it has listed here. So Cardano, for instance, is another payment system, which I think is a good one. And you're going to be able to switch your coins just like that. And you'll see here there's a price impact. So that's and then a liquidity provider fee. So these companies are actually making money from people switching coins on a decentralized exchange. So they have proper use cases. They're not just pie in the sky companies that don't do anything. Let's look at Revolut. Okay, Revolut launches Bitcoin withdrawals. Hopefully you can see that right here. This is a big deal. One of the problems with if you were to buy Bitcoin through some of the companies that offers it, you couldn't get it out. Revolut was one of them. If you don't own the ability to get the coins out of these platforms, then you don't really own the coins. You just own a tracking, number that tracks the price of the coin. So Revolut is offering people the ability to its UK customers to withdraw the coins, out to their own external wallets for a fee, of course, which I think is really silly. $18 a month or £12.99 a month. Now, if you just buy the coins through things like Binance or Coinbase, you don't need to pay fees like that. But for your average person, maybe that doesn't understand these other platforms or doesn't have the confidence to buy their own coins, they can now withdraw from Revolut. So remember, if you buy from a place that doesn't allow you to withdraw, you don't really own those coins, and there is some risk involved in that. So I always advise people, don't buy through places like Revolut. It's going to cost you more. I mean, now you have to pay a $12.99 monthly fee just to access your own coins, which is retarded. Nobody should do that. You can just buy it through Binance or Coinbase. Much easier, much cheaper. You're going to get better rates too. So yeah, that's an interesting news story. And what else do we have? How much time have we? What are we doing time wise? 38 minutes. I'm definitely going to be under today. This is exciting. Got the banking news. Oh, here. This is again just showing you what's going on with Dogecoin, which again a lot of people think is a joke, but there are some companies that decided to adopt Dogecoin payments on April the 19th. This was Newegg was a big tech retail website in the US where people would buy computer parts. Very, very big company. So they accept now Dogecoin as a payment method on Newegg. So again, you're going to see this adoption of some of these companies allowing you to pay with cryptocurrencies if you want to do that. They started accepting Bitcoin back in 2014, so a very early adopter. So I like that. And then e-commerce giant Mercado Libre, hopefully I said that right. They've bought $7.8 million worth of Bitcoin for treasury. So that means that this e-commerce giant, rather than holding cash, now understands that cash is obviously losing money to inflation. So they're buying Bitcoin as part of their assets, and this is what Tesla did with their huge $1.5 billion buy. And you're going to see more and more companies buying Bitcoin to hold on their balance sheet as an investment, because they understand that it is an investment that will go up in the future. So that's very interesting too. So big news this week for we're seeing this big pump right now within cryptocurrency. And again, a lot of people have been email me saying, "Oh, this is just a pie in the sky." It's not. Cryptocurrency is here to stay because blockchain is here to stay. Blockchain is going to be the future of things like data storage, cloud storage, payment systems, and not all of these companies are going to survive, but some of them are going to do really well. Some of these coins, think of a cryptocurrency through a business that's actually doing something, like Solana, Cardano, Ethereum. They're businesses that offer coins like an IPO. So instead of going to the stock market and releasing their IPO in shares, they're doing it digitally through digital currencies. So maybe that's an easier thing for most people to understand, because a lot of people don't really understand what cryptocurrency is and what some of these coins are. Again, Bitcoin is not that, but a lot of these other coins that we talk about that are also investment coins, but are also through companies that are using them to create businesses and to create profits through things like smart contracts through Ethereum and Binance, for instance, which is the biggest trading platform in the world. And let me show you, by the way, I think Binance coin is a pretty good. Where is coin market? Yeah, Binance is just going to keep going from strength to strength. I mean, the volume that this company is doing every day is insane. I'm going to show you here. Now, I've used Coinbase for a long time. I also have a Binance account, but I found Coinbase, the app, a little bit easier to use. But Binance, look at the volume of Binance. This is a one-day trading amount. $66.8 billion traded, okay? All right, 66 billion. Now, think about that. They are taking a fee of all of that trading action through their Binance coin that people get 25% off if they use the coin to pay for the fee. Right, now compare that to Coinbase, which is the probably the next biggest well-known platform, not in size but marketed to be well-known. 9 billion. So you got Binance at 66 billion almost 67 billion of trading platform volume, and yesterday I saw it was almost 80. I've seen times where it's been higher than that. And you got Binance US, which is at 2 billion. So combine those two together, you're up almost 69 billion US dollars of trading volume. Now Binance is making a fee off every single one of those transactions, and you can profit from that by owning the coin, right? So if you wanted to own the Binance coin, which is the BNB, you're going to see, you've seen obviously this huge jump where it used to be in the dollars back in 2018. I think it was as low as $4 up to 600, and this company is making huge profits, and they're going to continue to grow and expand. So again, this is not pie in the sky stuff. These are real actual businesses that are making money using cryptocurrency and having their coins as a way to create, additional market cap revenue and to grow. So again, Binance. So you can see Binance is a limited coin, so there is not going to be an unlimited supply. We're at almost 90% of its release, and then they'll start to burn some of those coins off, and they'll get down to 100 million. Is that right? 100 million limited supply coins at one point. I don't know how long that's going to take to do that. But like Bitcoin is a limited supply of 21 million coins, another reason to own that. Scarcity mentality is a good thing, whereas Dogecoin is an unlimited supply. So again, two different types of coins and use cases. Dogecoin was never developed as a really serious use case coin. It was developed as a FU to Wall Street, whereas Binance coin was developed as a use case coin to pay for fees on the Binance trading platform. So that might be a lot of foreign language to some of you out there, but I would recommend you do your research and look into this, because it is a new way of creating yield and creating gains that you're probably not going to see in the stock market. But also, be prepared. You need to have a diverse portfolio. You don't want to put all of your money into this crypto. I mean, having a percentage of what you're comfortable with, just like stocks and shares, I would think is a good idea. I'm very bullish on it. I think Bitcoin, 7-figure coin eventually. Maybe it takes 5 to 10 years, but I think it's coming. So it's a very exciting time. Anyway, we'll do a little Q&A here. And I think we're going to be done under 60 today, which is exciting, because I'm sure you have things to do. You got to go make that baked beans on toast. I haven't had baked beans on toast in such a long time. It's one thing. I used to buy baked beans in cases of this stuff, like 24 cans at a time. Breakfast every morning. Eggs, baked beans, toast, avocado. Totally got addicted to them. Can't do that anymore. Let's see. Now Try TV says, I'm early for next week. You're early for Jan? Yeah, he's here next week. That's good. Dan Barber is here from Hayfield, Northeast Derbyshire. Not so late this week. Pub shut early due to heavy rain. That's fine. Paul says the housing market is booming. Prices are really going up. Yep, I think it's just going to continue. You're going to see that over the next 6 months to a year. Really good. LoanPad, zero complaints. LoanPad, I mean, they just continue to perform well. Let's see what LoanPad stats. The loan book is approaching. I looked at the stats this week. 26.7 million pounds right now. Went up from 24.7 in the last update, so it continues to grow, and that's a really good thing. The loan book is secured now at 62.4 million. Average loan to value 42%. They got 71 loans on the book now. So yeah, they're continuing to go strength to strength, and great liquidity. If you need to get access to your money right now, you can do that. Less than 1 day. I've done it myself. It works. It's fast. So very, very happy with LoanPad. it does what it says on the tin, and they continue to stick to that roadmap. So go Loanpad. Richard says, first secured peer-to-peer loans are far better. It's quite bizarre that unsecured peer-to-peer loans pay even less in many cases. Yeah, and that's just a lot of just lack of information as an investor. There's some people that invest that aren't very knowledgeable. And I always look at first charge loans. I never take second charge loans, because if they run into trouble, they are going to be problematic. That was one of my gripes with Cufflink when they were doing second charge loans. I was just telling Narinda, stop offering those. Let's see. Any thoughts about Cardano's cryptocurrency? Doing a lot of work in Africa to prove their product. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting what they're doing in Africa. It would be great if it was a country that was first world, and I think Cardano is very well backed. They have a lot of money going into the project, and I own some. I mean, I think it's a good project that, as a payment system, is going to be one of the good ones. So yeah, I own it. I don't know what the percentage of crypto I own is in Cardano. It's not a huge lot. I was waiting for it to dip sort of in the $1.15 range, but it hasn't. It's gone up a lot. Missed the boat on that one. I meant to pick some up. Let's see. Where are you at, Cardano? By the way, if you're looking at getting into cryptocurrency, you definitely want to have a good amount of your portfolio in these 10 big cap coins. Obviously, Bitcoin being the leader now with a $1 trillion market cap. The rest of them of these coins down here are interesting projects, but they also come with risk. So the smaller cap, the higher the risk. But I own, a good mix of the big caps and the small caps. I got some Ripple, some Doge. I bought Doge at 7 US cents. So, but kind of as a joke. I mean, I threw a couple of $100 into it as a joke and thought, this is, maybe it'll turn into something. I actually got tipped off by a friend of mine before this whole explosion happened about a year ago, and she owned 175,000 Dogecoin. She's had them for a long time, in years. And she was telling me, yeah, you've got to look at this coin. It's going to take off one day. I know it is. And I just kind of ignored her because it was created as a joke. But yeah, if we look at Cardano right here, it is the 7th biggest cryptocurrency right now, a $49.9 billion market cap. You can see it's really taken off in the last week, up 19%. As we're in this bull run. So yeah, I do like Cardano. I think that's going to be a project that does well. Let's see what else we got. Oh, and for everybody that's asking, I'm going to be doing the Landery video tomorrow, where I actually set up the account. I'm going to do a tutorial walkthrough, record that. I don't think I'm going to live stream it because sometimes I'm just poking around in the background and it would be pretty boring. But I'll edit it and put it up probably next week. Paul said, it worries me that young buyers are taking out large mortgages at low interest rates, and if they go up, they could have problems. Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, I don't see interest rates going up in the next year, but it's going to happen one day. It has to. Next couple of years, the rates will probably start to rise. Alan says, yo from the Malvern Hills, 35 miles south of Birmingham. Okay, thank you for the geo lesson. Probability of getting any capital back from the house crowd, I'm hoping maybe 50%. I mean, based on previous administrations, Darren, 50 might be optimistic. David just arrived. Did I miss the Cufflink podcast promised last week? It is archived, David, on the YouTube channel. If you look there, it is up there. It wasn't last week, but it was the week before, so you're a couple of weeks late. Oh, we're supposed to be seeing the portfolio, nothing on screen. Okay, let me show you the portfolio. I probably forgot to hit the screen share button. There we go. Here's the portfolio. This is the trading 212 portfolio. 11,132 pounds. We started with 5,500, and you can see here are the blunderous investments that I've made in the red. The Microvision down 39%, Aurora Cannabis down 30%, but we've had good results with previous investments too. Laredo, Lloyd's Bank up 85%. Too low, put more in this week, up 4.89%. They were as high as 20, I think up 20% at one time. Where were we? Maybe not. Maybe I'm being optimistic with that one. No, Too Low is a very small speculative company, but I think they're going to post good results over the next year. We'll see. What else? Saris, this is the one that I dumped half of it today. And Bonanza Creek. Oh, they had a really good earnings report this week, so that one has really shot up. See over the last week, down here at 33 US dollars, and all the way up to just under 40. So good earnings call with them, so that turned out to be a good play. Up 25%. Again, a lot of the money made on this portfolio is from the tech stocks. We had big gains with Magnite, we had some with Tesla, and then moved into the cyclicals with the oil. So I'll put the video up probably tomorrow with the portfolio walkthrough if anybody's interested in that. What else we got? Is Dogecoin a joke? There is no use. Billions of dollars sounds like insanity to me. Yeah, it's a big like screw you to the to Wall Street. But yeah, it does have use cases. It's a very, very cheap payment system that can be used to pay for things. So if it gets adopted by companies as payment system, yeah, it could have a good use case. Sorry about not putting things on screen. I know I messed that up. Tech problems. There's a lot of Bitcoin ATMs too here in the US, about 1,500 at the moment, but growing. Where's the guy from Assets Exchange coming to your show? Mark, he will be here on June 6th. Oops, that's not what we got. June 6th, yep. We'll have Peter Reed from Assets Exchange on the stream live next week. We got Jan from Blend Network next Thursday, so come on. Mike says that Tether looks like somebody has scribbled on the chart. Yeah, do you know why? Let me show you why. It's designed to be a stable coin that hovers around $1. So you're going to see those movements fluctuating to try to keep it very close to $1 as possible. I mean, here's a spike, right? Look at the spike. It went to $1.02, $1.02. So and then it corrects back down. So it's very much designed to stay at $1 to be a stable coin that can be used to store as a US dollar. Can you get someone from LoanPad on? Yes, I've been trying. I've been pleading with Louis, who's very shy, to come on and come on the stream. So maybe you can help me. Get onto LoanPad's website and ask them to come on the stream. Contact them. I'm not going to give out Louis' email because that would be wrong. He promised me he would come do it. It's just a matter of getting him to commit to a date. So he will be here eventually. Okay, 57 minutes in. We're going to knock this one off today because I promised it would be under an hour, and today will be a monumental day. Well, please hit that thumbs up before we end the stream. And thank you to everybody for coming and joining. Hope you got a lot of value out of the stream this week. And we'll be back next week, next Thursday, with... Who are we going to have? Who are we going to have? There we go. Jan Marciano. There you go. He'll be here next week live, 7:30 p.m. UK. And 2:30 p.m. US Eastern Time. So come back, join us. Thank you very much for all your support and for being here. And we will see you next time. Have a good evening. Be safe out there. Take care. Till next time. Bye.